Alright, hello everyone. I'm here in Chicago Union Station and I'm catching the Illinois Zephyr today. I'm only taking it to Naperville, so this is going to be a very short trip, and that's because this train has some of the new Venture cars. But word on the street is that this train also has the Venture business class cars, and because the cafe cars are not available yet, the Venture business class cars are open to coach passengers. So let's see if we can get a business class upgrade today for free. Unfortunately for me, the IFMA was having its Gold and Silver Plate Awards, which closed the Great Hall, so I wasn't able to go inside and take a good look, but congratulations to all the winners. So while I'm waiting for the train to depart, let's take a look at the lounge. Starting from the second floor, there are a lot of artwork pieces and furniture throughout. However, in my opinion, it doesn't seem like the furniture is the most clean up here. Let's take a look downstairs. My train's being called, but I'll take a quick look before I head out. The lower level is much busier than the upper level, as most passengers who come to wait for their train tend to wait here. It's important to note that I'm in the lounge because I'm a frequent Amtrak traveler and I've been granted lounge access with any trip I take. Normally, coach passengers are not permitted in the first class lounge. Before getting on the train, it's always a great idea to grab some snacks while you can. They're all free. The attendants tell me to walk straight to the track. Since this is not a sleeper train, you are not escorted. Because I am a coach passenger, I am required to wait on the coach line with everyone else. Now that it's finally time to start boarding, I can check if the train actually is equipped with a Venture business class coach. Because of the short distance I was going on this trip, the conductors wanted to put me in the middle coach car. Conductors usually group passengers based on their destination, so it made sense. However, I wasn't determined to let that stop me because I wanted to check out the business class coach. Walking into the business class car, the first thing I noticed is that there's actually 2x2 coach seating. I'm not sure as to why it's there, but behind it is the actual business class seating in the 2x1 configuration. The seats are also slightly wider than their normal coach seats. Measuring the seat, we can see that it's 21 inches wide by 33.5 inches long. However, I think that's a mistake because of how I measured the seat. It should be closer to 36 inches. Let's compare those seats to the seats in the coach section. In the coach section, it's always a 2x2 seating. When measured, the seats were about 17 inches wide and about 32 inches long. That's still pretty good compared to most economy airlines. However, these new seats are not as wide as the previous Amfleet and Horizon rail cars. Another interesting feature is that the seats now slide forward in order to recline. This prevents you from disturbing the person behind you. Each car has overhead storage, which should be enough space to store a carry-on item. It also has new brighter lighting and overhead lighting at each seat. The tray tables on these trains are massive compared to some of the previous Horizon and Amfleet models, with tons of space to have a laptop, a drink, and even more. Legroom at these coach seats are amazing, with so much space that even with the seat fully reclined, I did not feel like I was at a loss for space. I was able to stretch out and even put a bag underneath me if I wanted. After speaking with the conductors, they agreed to let me sit in the business class section since it was still open to coach passengers. Sitting here in the 1x2 seating felt very similar, with plenty of legroom to stretch out, even with the seat fully reclined. Just like in the coach section, the business class section has large tables with enough space to put a laptop, your drink, snacks, and even more. Reclining your seats on these trains, whether in coach or business class, requires you to push a button, but the chairs are a bit stiff since they're still new, so it might take a bit of force to push it in. If you're wondering where the outlet is, it's located usually between the seats, but since this is a single-seater, it's located by the window. Finally, after all the passengers boarded, it is now time to depart. These venture coach sets are very quiet, and you don't really hear much noise from it compared to the older trains. But that being said, let's take a look at the restrooms on these trains. The doors on the bathroom are entirely button operated and are automatic, so there's no need to be pulling the doors. However, this does create a bit of a learning curve, as the door locks automatically without you having to do anything. Now that I finally figured out how the door works, let's take a look around.
This mirror is awesome, by the way.
The sink is nice and big, and it works perfectly fine. However, there was no soap stock on this train today. There are tissues and a blow dryer to dry your hands. Looking towards the toilet, there's another giant mirror, as well as a bunch of handrails to make sure that it's easy to access, which is great. There is also a baby changing station, as well as multiple trash bins located throughout. There is also a disposal for sanitary napkins, as well as toilet seat covers, which is very useful. Outside the restroom, there's also a recycling bin and a normal trash can. This is a great addition to the fleet. Looking from the rear of the coach, we can get a better idea of what it looks like. The trains are equipped with overhead digital displays, however they were not in use for this trip. It seems like the crew were unable to get it working. Taking a look at the tracker, we're running very late, and that's making my connection to the train back to Chicago very tight. Will I be able to make a 1-minute connection? Unfortunately, it seemed very clear that this train would not make it to Naperville before the commuter train back to Chicago did, so I had to find another way back. But my journey is soon coming to an end and it's time to walk towards the exit. Yeah, I had absolutely no idea what I was gonna do. While I was waiting for my ride back to Chicago, I did manage to see another train, but it wasn't going the direction I was. It took some time, but eventually I made my way back to the CTA and took a train into downtown Chicago.